everything, and I'm coming at you with another live stream of Star Citizen information. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Star Citizen Alpha 2.4 that's getting ready to come out no time soon. Don't what am I trying to say? Don't think that this is a patch that's just going to be released within the next week or so, because it's been said that this is a very large patch. It's a very major overhaul of the way things are done in the back servers and how they keep track of your information and how everything is. Here's the power word: persistence. How that's taking place and how that works in the game. Because of that, there is it's going to be large, and because it's going to be large and it's going to be a major announcement, my guess is that it's going to be heralded, and so there will be a lot of big hype about this, and they're generating hype now by holding on to it and not releasing it to general consumption. And in addition to that, they're using a small group of testers that have what we call the pre-PTU, or the early PTU, or whatever you'd like to call it. But what it is, it's the public test universe, the PTU, but it is before they release it to a PTU, which, and being that I have been on the PTU servers, and being that I feel like I provide valuable information, it doesn't make sense to me. I understand what they think is best for them and the company, and I understand that. And I respect what they have to say, but I don't get it. I don't get it, because, okay, I understand if you have a build that is just completely broken, right? Like you log on, you're not able to log on. It crashes your system. Your computer turns off. I'm going to extremes now. Like you log in and all the colors are crazy, or you log in and your lasers, every time you pull the trigger, it shoots you straight in the eyeball. I understand that. That's what the PTU was for, right? Well, and I'm going to go back to my 2012 video where I talked. Wow, something just happened to my stream. I don't know what just happened. Okay, I'm going to go back to my 2012 video where I made a comment about the dogfight module, when the dogfight module was pushed back and pushed back. But and you could say you could say all the bad things about me or whatever. That's fine, but I don't understand. And I know I keep saying that, so let me kind of explain why I'm saying this. Let me try to explain. I don't know if I can explain. Okay, I backed this project, Star Citizen. I love Star Citizen. I think it's the greatest thing. I think it's the MMO, flight sim, first-person shooter, economy simulator, every open sandbox, PvP, PvE, storyline. It's got it all, right? And I want it all. Yeah, so I want it all. But what I don't understand is when I read the, I don't know, what in the very beginning, what I thought I was doing was backing a game, okay, in its early production, way before it's released to the, finger quotes, public, right? Way before it's released to the public, allowing the backers to test their game. right? Okay. I know that right now they've got a bajillion backers, but I backed this game with the understanding that it was broken. I knew this. I knew it was still in production. I knew it was still in development. And I do believe that every frickin' person that's backed knows this. Okay? We know that it's broken. Okay, so having said that, I don't understand why there is a PTU in general. Because if they have a build that could possibly be released to a group of people for testing, that's me. That's what I signed up for. But if they don't have a build that they can download and people can play on, and they struggle with downloading it, and they struggle with patching it and figuring it out and trying to get it loaded to the public / backers, I understand that would be like a internal testing platform, and we'll call that. Okay, something's going on with my stream. I don't know what the hell's going on. It says 60 frames right now. It should be good. I don't know why it keeps disconnecting. Now, I do understand that my internet's supposed to be getting worked on here pretty soon, and it's supposed to be speeding up from 50 megs all the way to 250 megs, but that should have happened. I don't know when that's supposed to happen, so maybe it's supposed to happen today. But, okay, maybe they're working on it. That's what keeps cutting me off. But hopefully this doesn't create multiple videos. Hopefully these are all, YouTube ties them all together, but we'll see. Okay. So that wouldn't be a PTU, right? That would be just like an internal testing platform. We'll just call it a testing universe, right? And if they want to have a small group of people, the Escalari or whatever they call themselves, we'll even, I don't even know how many there are, probably 100, 200, 300, 1,000, I don't know, right? So let's say that they have a small group of these people that they feel are reliable testers, that have always given them valuable information, and they want to give them earlier access than the rest of us. That's totally okay. And if they want to put an NDA on that, I don't understand that. I really don't understand why they would want to do that. Non-Disclosure Act, because the part of the hype generated for Star Citizen, 99% of the hype generated for Star Citizen, is from seeing into the workings or the background, the development of this game. That's why they have all these videos that show you and they talk to you about development of this game, because that's how they get this information out. And that's what excites a lot of us backers. That's why we backed. Back to my first point. That's why we backed. We wanted to be involved in the development process. So, hey Christian, hello. Thanks for joining our basically my rant about the PTU in general and how everything is ran via Star Citizen. And the back to my point of the Star Citizen, Chris Roberts and all that, they get 99% of their publicity from backers like myself who stream, who are doing this video right now, like what the development process is. So I don't understand, I don't understand why they have 3, 4 even development stages, right? You've got the internal QA, fine, perfect, you got to have them. They have their elite group of PTU testers. Great, fine. I'm okay with that. But then why do they have another level called the PTU and then another level called general consumption, basically? They call it live. Now, there has been said that they gradually, in the PTU, they gradually include more and more people into the testing circle so that they can test larger and larger groups of people. And because as you add more people, you start to encounter different bugs and different issues and server loads and things like that as it gets more and more people. And the PTU is their way of I guess throttling how many people can log in. So they just gradually send out codes until basically everybody's got a code, and once that happens they just go live, which they don't need to do that. They don't need to have like a separate. I guess they do. I mean, I don't know. Father knows best, right? I guess so. They probably know best, but I don't know why they would need to have a separate group of people specifically called the Escalari or whatever they're actually called, but they serve the masters by having an NDA, and I don't think that's necessary. I mean, personally, I would sign an NDA because I'm excited to help them develop the game, but it's not necessary. That's how they get their publicity. Okay, I've said that enough. What I'm trying to say, let me back this up. What I'm trying to say is get rid of those escalates or cold lattes or whatever they're called, right? Get rid of that whole nomenclature and just say this something simple, that there are PTU testers, and just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. Because, okay, you got the internal QA, you got the PTU universe, and then you got the regular universe. And I understand the PTU throttles, right? That we already got that. So just say they're the first batch and they're still testing it. And they're not going to release more people until it gets cleaner. And they don't need to have like a third hidden section. Now, if they want to have a smaller section of people that test the story and Squadron 42, okay, I get that too. That's totally different than what we're doing now. We're still building the game, you know. So I don't understand. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, so having said that, let's go into the patch notes. Okay, now understand that these patch notes were released on the, here you can see my mouse pointer. They were released on the 5th. Okay, so it's the 10th today. So this is 5 days old, and there is a you can find these on Reddit. So you can find these patch notes pretty much anywhere nowadays. And remember that because this is the early PTU, hidden PTU, whatever you want to call it, it is not, it's not, what's the word I'm trying to say, finalized, okay? So if they figure that one of these areas right here is just way too hard to implement, yeah, they'll just scrub it. They'll just scratch that little piece, right? So, but let's talk about this, okay? You've been, I don't know if any of you have actually been on the PTU, but if you have, that's the public test universe. That's not live, but live is technically the public test universe. It always is. This game is in pre-alpha. But they don't want to, and I'm not really sure I understand this. They don't want to reveal or release content to general consumption and live until it's a little bit more polished. I don't get that. I don't get that. I'm a backer because I understand it's not going to be polished. And that should be a disclaimer. But I guess what their fear is, and this is a fear, that there are backers that would be upset if it's not polished. And so, or they are they don't want to reveal anything until it looks good because they don't want to give a bad first impression. So, okay, whatever. Moving on. Now, it says the alpha patch 2.4 has been released to the PTU. It's now available to players to attach. The patch provides access to the shopping experience. Okay, full hanger interactivity, which basically means you can move things around in your hanger from your hanger. So you log in, and not the website. Okay, so when you log into your hanger, you can use your mobiGlas app to reposition your ships. To I hope this is it. We'll look at it a little bit later. To reposition my flare, my posters on the wall, because they did say something, and I remember this in one of the shows. They said that a poster will have a tag on it that says it has to be attached to a wall. So that means you go to any other hanger item or hanger location like floors, walls, ceilings, tables, things like that, and I click on a floor and it says, no, this poster doesn't go here. But if I click on the wall, it'll say, yeah, it goes right here. So that means I can move things around. That's kind of cool. That's sexy. I like that because if any of you ever played any MMOs where you could do base building, like City of Heroes, boy, that was big. You can go back in and watch some of my really super old, maybe, shoot, I don't even know, like 10-year-old videos that show our base. The way City of Heroes worked is you had rooms, and you were in, when you go into this app. They had this in the game. You click on a certain button. You go into your base building app basically, and you can move rooms around on this tile floor. You have this giant tile floor. So they called it a lot, and then you could take like your we would have like a workout room. We put it in this corner. We'd have a teleporter room. We put it in this corner. We'd have a computer room. We put it in this corner. And a power room. We put it in another corner. And you had to have a certain number of power to run a certain number of systems in your base. And then, so it was a whole mini game of building your base because you had to put power and computers and an entryway, and then if you wanted teleporters, and everybody had them, you build teleporters, and you had to earn, in-game currency to your organization actually had to earn in-game currency, not individually. That was an organization thing, and you could build things inside the base. And I thought that was super cool. Now, once you built the base, in that process, you would go into a room. Still inside this app, you would go into the room, and then you would add components like chairs and tables and beds and boxes and wall lockers and all this kind of stuff, right? And there was hundreds and hundreds and actually probably thousands of different little things you could put inside the rooms. And boy, that was one of the more favorite parts of City of Heroes, was me actually working on building this base. And I had visited some other people's bases and observed like how they did their layouts. And there was a lot of interesting layouts that other people had done. But most importantly, this is what I was trying to get to. There is a thing in City Heroes where you could take boxes, and some things could stack on top of other things. Not everything. Sometimes when you would put something on another thing, it would just fall to the ground. There would be no stacking. But they specifically had boxes that were basically just like rectangle cubes, basically, that you could stack on top of each other. And if you positioned them just right, you could make walls inside of rooms that you purchased in the app. So you could like build a workout room, but then you could split it up. Well, this is what I did. I took a med bay. This is what I did. I took a med bay and I separated it down the middle with a wall. And then I made little rooms on the inside of that wall where there was like an operating room and an examination room and a little nurse's station, and this was all built by stacking boxes on top of each other. And I'm kind of excited to see that in Star Citizen, something like that, because this is what I predict will happen. We're going to have weapon racks or just simple shelves that we're going to be able to put in our hangar somewhere, and then I'm going to be able to, or weapon like arms racks or clothing racks or armor racks or whatever. I'm going to be able to put these racks in different places in my base, my hangar, and then I will be able to like put all my laser rifles over here. I'll be able to put all my Omni-Sky laser cannons over here on these shelves, and then I'll be able to do a little bit of rearranging. And right now when you go into your hangar, there's odd boxes and crates and stuff just all over the place, spilled containers, trash cans dumped over. There's all kinds of, and my hangar flare is not where I would put it, and you know, it's all kind of scattered about just to get it going, right? Well, I can't wait to organize my hangar. So that's going to be super exciting for me because I'm kind of into that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's talk about next thing, right? I mean, I barely got past the second paragraph here, or the second sentence. Okay, there's going to be, that's via the port modification app, and that's going to be in your mobiGlas. So that's cool. Now, Crusader portals are primarily. It's going to have new missions. Okay, that's going to be exciting. I don't know what these missions are going to be. That's just super, right now that's just super exciting. So you can imagine that we're going to have different like cargo hauling missions and more. I understand there's going to be ships that have been that are going to have more salvage on them. So I bet you there's going to be missions where you fly out with your cargo ship, you load it up with salvage, just cargo probably just floating in the air, a lot like the way the weapons are right now in Yella. You go out there, you grab a few of these boxes, you put them in your cargo hold, and you ship it back to some place where you can sell it. That'll be super cool. And then you'll get alpha currency. You'll also get defender reputation, not just hostile what's the word I'm looking for? Not just criminal reputation, but you'll be able to get defender reputation. Defender reputation, that is something that our squadron strives for. So you're looking at, yeah, we'll go out there and help out anybody that's in need, basically. Okay, and that'll be good. Now, I don't know what kind of reward that will give us, but that will probably open up certain missions that only defenders, like level 5 defenders, will get. Or it might open up missions for pirate types to take out defenders that have a good reputation. I don't know. Okay, so there's going to be server-side persistence. Okay, basically what we're talking about, when they say server-side, that means not your client, not your computer at home. This is at the Star Citizen offices. Their servers will remember what you're doing. So if you put that box in the corner of your hangar, the next time you log in, that box will still be there. Or when you go and you shoot somebody and you get a criminal reputation, and you log out, when you log back in, you'll still have that criminal reputation. So going to Port Korea and actually accessing that computer to lower your criminal reputation is a thing now. Instead of just currently right now, all you get to do is just log out, log back in, you're back to zero. But there is a mechanic in Port Korea, where you can go in and access the computer and then be able to lower your reputation through basically manipulating the records of the the advocacy or something like that. So that's pretty cool. So now it'll actually mean something. Let's say your ship gets damaged. This is what's really cool. Let's say I fly around in my Saber and I blow off one of my wings. Okay, and then I log out. When I log back in, my Saber's still going to have a broken wing. That's needed, right? And then let's say I want to repair it. I fly over to one of the repair centers. They're going to charge me alpha UEC to repair that. I don't just automatically get repaired. So what that's going to do is it's going to put, well, here, let me talk about griefing just a little bit. There's going to be players out there, and there's going to be teams of players that will blow you up just for the fun of blowing you up. Now you're screwed, because now your ship's blown up, and you got to have money to repair it, right? My understanding is, and I don't know if this is really true, but my understanding is if your ship completely blows up, you'll get a brand new one. So what's going to happen with that is players that are wounded and don't have enough money will just blow up their ship. And that seems like that's a defeat of the purpose too. So, but they're going to test. That's what this is all about. They're going to test to see what players do and how they get around certain things. And maybe they'll learn what they need to implement into the game to prevent gaming the system. And if you're griefed, and let's say they don't let you respawn with a completely fresh ship, and you have to have UEC, at a certain point, some players are going to be out of UEC. They're going to have none, right? And so they won't be able to repair their ships. So then hopefully there are players or mission generators that say, hey, jump on my ship, act as a gunner, and I'll pay you 2 UEC or whatever. And you, broke, will have to take that to earn money back so that you can repair your ship. That's cool. I like that. If I think that's I hope that's what might happen. So like I'll be flying around. I'll have my Saber, and I'll be one of these guys that say, you know what, I'm going to go save the world. And I fly around and I start fighting all these pirates, protecting people, and I get my ship damaged. Well, where am I getting my money? Because I'm not carrying cargo. I'm not salvaging anybody. I'm doing the protecting. So I'm going to have to be very leery of getting engaged in fights if I'm not getting any refund, not getting any like compensation for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just throw my life away just for the greater good, because we're not being paid to do this. Now, if we are being paid, like if we get hired to, let's say, Crusader Security hires or is hiring people to go to a certain location and defend it versus pirates, and they're going to pay a certain amount of UEC, yeah, definitely. We'll sign up for that. That's exactly what our whole reason for being a squadron is. Okay. Okay, now let's skipping a little bit. Right, first pass control between flight and FPS controls. Okay, now you notice I'm still in the first paragraph, and there's a lot of things in this patch notes that we want to talk about, right? There's a lot. Now a lot of this is just fixes and stuff, and I'll just breeze through most of those. But most of the meat and potatoes is actually in the first paragraph, so that's why I'm hitting on the first paragraph. Okay, so they have a first pass on control unification between flight and FPS. What that's trying to say and it's supposed to give a greater experience. What that's trying to say right now, if you fly with default keyboard mouse, right, and I press W in space, it throttles up your ship, right? And then if I press D, let's say D, my ship will actually roll to the right. Okay, so then I get out of my ship and I start EVAing over to, let's say, one of the comma rays, right? And I press W, I do throttle up. I let go and it stops. Okay. Now, if I press D, I don't roll to the right. What happens is I strafe to the right. If I want to roll, I have to press Q or E. Where if I'm in my ship and I press Q or E, I strafe to the left or right. So they're backwards, or they're not backwards, but they're not the same. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're going to try to make most of the controls that they can the same for both in and out of ship. What that hopefully, and this has been my grief in the last, I don't know, 100 patches. I can change some controls, but some controls are permanent. I can't change them. And that's a problem. If I'm going to be able to change controls, I need to be able to change all my controls. There was also no place for me to change my EVA movement controls because I was going to do that. I was going to do it myself. I was going to go in there and make some modifications to my controls for EVAing, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I could find running around on the ground, and I could find flying, but there was no EVA specific controls. And so, balls. Okay, hopefully they fix that. That's what they're talking about. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about, there's a new flyable Starfare and Starfare Gemini and a hangar-ready Reliant. So yeah, you can look at a Reliant in the hangar, big deal, right? If you're a Reliant owner, that is a big deal for you. But for me, it's not. But the Starfare, even though I don't own a Starfare, I tried getting a Starfare, but they were sold out. But I don't. Maybe the Gemini, I don't know. We'll have to see when I look to see what the difference is between the Starfare and Starfare Gemini. But that's gonna be really exciting. There's already been people talking about how they're gonna ask everybody on the server to climb onto their Gemini, and they're gonna fly around with the entire server on one ship. That would be pretty cool. There's other players talking about getting two Starfares and having their own capture the flag, basically, like two teams fighting against each other on Starfares out in space, and you get EVA back and forth or something. That would be pretty cool. It really would be good player-generated content. But with your damage to ships and stuff like that being permanent until it gets repaired, I don't know how much of that I'd want to be doing. But I understand it's a PTU, and there's a lot of they're going to have resets and reboots and stuff like that, and so you're gonna no matter what, even if you get a whole bunch of damage, you're gonna be able to get your stuff back like every time they reboot. And they might do that weekly, they might do it daily, they might do it monthly. I don't know. But they're basically going to test the economy to see like how people are spending money and what they're spending it on. And well, first of all, let me tell you, that's not a really good test right now. What you can spend it on is going to be limited. It's not going to be diverse enough. So testing what we spend the money on is kind of like, don't bother doing that right now. Not until you get a lot of things in the game. If there's just a little bit of things like clothing and armor and guns, ship weapons, components, I don't think that's enough. There needs to be more. Okay, so Okay, now remember the PTU access is restricted to that small group of guys, right? The cold lattes. Okay, and don't worry about that, what it reads right there, because that's going to be way different when it comes to us eventually on live or on even the normal PTU. And the deleting the user folder and stuff like that, they say that every time. Okay, if you've never been on the PTU, they ask you to delete the user folder. And one of the reasons why that is, and this is a couple of different reasons, but the main reason is in the user folder, there is a file for your control setup. And when they change what the buttons do, and hypothetically, if you went in and customized your controls, that would create a separate folder. And when they patch, they're not going to eliminate or delete your separate folder. It should, it just doesn't. And sometimes, or maybe it's supposed to, but sometimes it doesn't. Then your customized control panel pattern will cause problems because it won't be compatible with the new system. So just delete the user folder, start fresh with a brand new control system, and move on. I know some people hate doing that and stuff like that, but that's fine. I just play with default in the PTU. When the game goes to beta and we know pretty much where the controls are supposed to be and how the game's supposed to function and stuff like that, that's when I'll start worrying about setting up all my controls. But until then, I'm just going default. And I'm starting to get used to it, actually. So, okay. So let's talk about important callouts. Arena Commander has been disabled. Basically, they're taking Arena Commander offline only for that initial 2.4 PTU test. When it goes live, I'm sure Arena Commander will be back to being live. But the reason why they turned Arena Commander off is because they don't need to work on that right now. What they need to work on is the economy, the persistence, the moving stuff around in your hangar, all that stuff I just read about. And so they want you as a tester to focus on those areas. Okay, we just spoke about this. The keyboard, mouse, keypad, default key bindings receive a massive update. So there'll be unified controls between flight and FPS. Okay, some UI sections detailing are coming in the near future. Basically, they're asking you to review the key bindings in the game. Okay. They encourage players to use the default key bindings so that can give them constructive feedback on how it's keybound. If you don't like it, you don't like something, report that. Don't just change it saying, oh, I hate this setup. I'm going to change it to the way I want it. No, tell them. Tell them you hate it. Tell them why you do like it. You know, tell them so that they can, so they maybe if they make X, Y, and Z the way you turn, and you don't like X, Y, and Z because they're nowhere near each other, say, hey, why are you using X, Y, and Z? Why don't you use like AWSD like everyone else? That kind of stuff. Tell them. Okay, sorry. Got on a little tangent there. The port modification tool does not currently work in Crusader. Okay, that's one of the reasons why it's in this PTU build, and that's one reason why they're trying to figure it out. So if you go into your hangar and modify your ship, that loadout will persist in other game modes, which is good. I think I remember at one point I could change my ship in the hangar. I could immediately from the hangar go to Crusader and my ship would still have that loadout. But once I logged out, it would obviously disappear. But that was, I think I could do that at one point. I don't know if I can still do that or not. Probably not. They're getting rid of the hollow table. The hollow table is gone, right? One reason, you're going to be able to modify your ship in your mobiGlas. Okay. But modifying your ship is not the focus of the testing, right? So that's not what they're asking you to test. What they're trying to do is test the economy, right? Okay, and the persistence. Um, they had a bug where if you load into the hangar, you go into empty space. And alpha UEC is resetting to a random amount. That's funny. But you know, they're working on that. Self-line hanger at far distances, it probably disappears. Missing geometry. And this is weird. FPS weapons are not dealing damage outside of interior physics grid ships. So let's talk about like Retaliator, right? I'm just going to use that as an example. Or, you know, you're running around inside the Retaliator shooting people. Yeah, you can do damage to them, but as soon as you get outside the ship, you're not inside the interior physics grid. You're in the outside grid. You shoot somebody, you don't do any damage. That's kind of weird. We can figure that one out. Okay, so here's the new features and updates, right? This is really what you all came to this video to see. And 34 minutes later, we're getting to it. Star system, game system, ships, first-person user, all that stuff. Okay, new system, star systems, Crusader. Port Olisar has been renovated, right? It's still under construction completely, but they have completed sections including improving atrium, okay, which is great. Opening of several new shops, Kasaba shopping outlet, Garrity defense, and live wire weapons. I thought that was supposed to be live fire. Live wire. Live wire? Live fire. Okay. Crusader Industries have made lockers available in both the easy hab rooms and near the airlocks to allow pilots to change. Because if you're in civvy clothes and you go to the airlock and try to leave, you will die in space without a spacesuit. Okay. But you can do that right before you go through the airlock. And that's just temporary, just to allow people to change on Port Olisar. You can choose to spawn to Port Olisar. Oh, wait. It says as by default in there. Okay, so you'll be in civilian clothes at Port Olisar by default. Then you'll have to go change into your space suit. Respawning costs alpha UEC. So characters are only, the charges are only for deaths by natural causes. Ship blown up, shot by FPF spaced in the airlock, etc. Okay. So you're not charged for respawning if you become stuck and you have to use the respawn command. And if you don't have enough UEC, you'll still be able to respawn. So what they're saying there is, even if you have 0 UEC and you get killed, you'll still be able to come back to life. Yeah, so, but if you have UEC and you get killed, it's going to take some. Basically you're paying the doctor. That's kind of cool, just to respawn. Okay, new landing pads have been added to all the struts to allow them to hold larger ships. Why? I've noticed that they've only had 2 large ship pads, and those at times get full, and then when I click on I want to respawn a ship, I can't because it's full. Or there are dicks out there that will land and their nose will be on one pad and their tail will be on another pad, and it'll prevent a spawn of ships on either one of those pads for the big ships. So with the Starfarer coming out, they're gonna eat. I heard one podcast where they said, well, they're gonna have to make the struts accessible so that, or the docking collars have to be accessible so the Starfarer can land. Well, that's not really true, because the Starfarer can land like a normal ship. It can land like a Constellation, but it just needs a bigger pad. So all they needed to do was maybe add 1 or 2 more giant pads, and that would be pretty cool. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I'd like to see what that's going to look like. That's going to be exciting. The asteroid fields around Crusader have been proven to be incredibly dangerous to shipping traffic after the veritable flood of pirates into the area. Basically, that's just a story. As a result, enterprising salvage-hungry pilots may find many more wrecks and valuables in need of recovery in the yellow asteroid fields. Because right now there was only like 5 or 6, right? And it wasn't hard to find because they had like glowing green lights over them. Now what's this? Likewise, those who are enlisted by Tessa Bannister. Oh, at the ICC. Okay, now I remember who that is. I don't know, can you hear that alarm outside? Siren? Okay. To investigate the more remote asteroid pockets may also find the odd keepsake of the poor lost souls who perished. So basically, instead of just running out and doing the mission, you'll now be able to maybe earn money for doing the mission, and you might be able to find some salvage at those missions. That'll be exciting. Okay, that's good. I'm glad they added those. That's still not enough, I think. I think they need to really add more mission types, but I'm sure they're working on that. Okay, Area 18. The Cassava shopping outlet is opened on ArcCore. Interested pilots can now purchase the latest fashions. Okay, Cubby Blast is eager to sell the pilots weapons and armor sets. Normally, Cubby Blast doesn't sell armor, but in this version they are, just to allow us to be able to purchase it. They didn't have any better place to put it. They decided to go ahead and put it in Cubby Blast. Okay, but that'll be good. I don't know if, I don't know how the new armor item port system is going to work, and is it the new armor that I'm buying and all that stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to. The hanger, you can now select from available hangers from your game inside the options menu. Okay, wait. You can now select which of your hangers you wish to use from the main menu in the game. Great. So I don't have to keep going to the website, selecting it, saving it, loading the game. I can do it directly from the main menu. Okay. Inside the options menu of the game, there's a drop-down that allows players to select which hanger they would like to use, and it will persist between sessions, what I would hope so. And if you change your default hanger while still inside the hanger, you'll need to exit and re-enter. Okay, I can get that. The expansion bays for hangers are temporarily out of service. So no adding a bunk room, or no adding a firing range or any of that cool stuff just yet. But they're planning on those expansion bays soon, because it's temporarily out of service. Okay, there's rework certain aspects of the expansion base, right? The VFG industrial, that's the asteroid hangar, being expanded to allow things like maybe the Starfarer. Okay, so they're disabling it from the website, so you'll have to definitely do it in-game. Okay, character loadout selector has been removed from the hangar. You will all load with the same RSI spacesuit by default. New civilian clothing and armor can be obtained from ArcCore and Port Olisar. And then you can equip it on the lockers on Port Olisar or by interacting with previously purchased items in ArcCore. So the only place I can change now is going to be on Port Olisar or in ArcCore. I can't change in my hangar? That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Fix that. Okay. Make that happen. Yesterday. Okay. The holo table has been removed from the hangar. Yeah, we know that. That's good. A lot of people hated the holo table. I didn't have too much of a problem with the holo table. I knew it was under work and people it needed to be upgraded and updated and stuff like that, but I didn't have that much of a problem with it. I didn't like the spinny thing at the top, where you take your ship and your ammo and your guns and you scroll around in a big circle. I didn't like that. And I didn't like the fact that when I selected my ship and I went to my, let's say, missiles, that was the big one I had a problem with. I go to ammo and I try to find my missiles. I couldn't find them. I had to very carefully move my mouse pointer around until I could find the missile and then move it. So I hated that part of the whole hollow table. But that's getting rid of, and people are going to do it through their mobiGlass. Okay, bounty and reputation system. Not only is there a bad reputation, but there's also a good reputation. Okay, so that's gonna. I'm glad they've implemented that. But let's see what they're talking about. Okay, they're looking to contract reliable pilots in the area. Good. So they'll hire you to make money. All right. Defenders who repair enough comm arrays or ICC probe missions will get offered a contract from Crusader Industries to protect security post Korea from nefarious parties. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Newly recruited security guards will receive a weapon and will need to defend the station for 10 minutes without dying or allow any criminals to breach the main security terminal. Because you know that terminal is used by criminals to change their record to not criminal. So you're there to stop that from happening. Okay, security guards are authorized and encouraged to eliminate any trespassers that enter the station with a 100 bonus instantly awarded per trespasser that is dispatched. You know that's what we're going to be doing. You know that's exactly what the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron is going to be doing. We're going to be pretty much defending the security post. So once we get there, you come out, take us out, because we're going to be gunning. Okay, we'll probably have ships in the area to keep you from even landing. So just FYI. All right, Outlaws and Crusader will now receive a mission from mysterious allies to kill the new security guard. Oh, great. So once you become a defender, there's going to be that same thing. You know how there's the hunted mission right now where you chase down the outlaw and you get a free gun or whatever when you kill him. There's going to be something like that for outlaws. They're going to be able to, they're going to get like kill orders. Nice. Outlaws and defenders in Crusader will receive missions to hunt one another with varying rewards. Defenders will lose their mission to hunt outlaws if they are killed by an outlaw. Okay, that's okay. That's I can live with that. Outlaws who have a bounty on them can no longer be tracked via mobiGlass if they are outside monitored space. Well, that goes without saying. I thought that was the way it was anyway. I didn't even realize it wasn't. Okay. Both Defender and Outlaw missions award AUEC, which is great because before it was a gun. And now, because they're implementing money and you have to buy guns, that's better. They'll probably give you the value of whatever that gun would cost, and then you can decide to buy it or not. Okay. Hopefully, Port Korea doesn't just have weapon racks that you just walk in and just grab guns. Hopefully, you have to buy them. Okay, never mind. Jumping ahead. Crusader Industries has tightened their monitoring on deactivated comm arrays. Wow, if you deactivate a comm array, it takes you straight to wanted level 5. Wow. Okay. The timer for Outlaw wanted levels only counts down while the account is online. Outlaws no longer receive a special loadout when they respawn. Instead, Outlaws' names will be in red. And Outlaws on wanted level 5 will no longer get kicked from the server when they are killed. Well, I didn't get kicked. I was an outlaw at one point. Oh, wanted level 5. Okay, I was never that high. I was like wanted level 1 because I accidentally shot somebody and killed him. And then when I died, I was locked in my room for like a minute. Until either enough active playtime passes between criminal actions to return to 0 wanted level, or until the outlaw takes actions to erase this wanted level via the Korea. Okay. Each outlaw. Okay, here we go. Will now persist for a number of hours, not minutes. Okay, equal to the rank of wanted. Wanted level 1 persists for an hour. So if you are at wanted level 1 and you get killed, are you going to be locked in your room for an hour? I think you are. That's good. That's actually good because criminals should have a penalty, in my opinion. This game shouldn't be about everybody wanting to be a pirate. Currently, right now, that's kind of what it is, and it really shouldn't be. And so if you want to be a criminal, you're going to have to pay the penalties for being it. Yeah, that's fine. If you want to be a criminal, you can be, and it's encouraged, but you're going to have to pay the penalty. And that's this. If they lock you up for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, that would be great. Oh, wait. Yeah, going all the way from level 5 to 0 without taking actions could take 15 hours. Yeah, because 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. I don't think that's 15, is it? 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It is 15 hours. Damn. Okay. The defender reputation of a character on Crusader will persist between sessions. The defender reputation is not currently displayed on the HUD. A player's defender reputation is permanent, assuming no criminal actions are taken. Performing a criminal action will erase any good reputation. And will put you at level 1. Okay. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Alpha UEC. They've added a new currency. We know that. They've talked endlessly about this. Both Outlaw and Defender missions will get money. Salvaging rare valuables in the asteroid fields will get you money. Kovalek's PI mission will get you money. And more or less, depending on the ending. Okay. You can buy stuff at Port Olisar, Crusader, and Area 18. Wait, Port Olisar and Area 18. Okay. Every account should start with 2750. But that might change. Remember, this is 5 days old, so. And you track it via your mobile glass. Yeah, we know that. It's in the upper right-hand corner of your mobile glass. And they're going to wipe it periodically, so don't get attached to anything in Star Citizen yet, really, because, everything's going to be wiped and redone and wiped and redone and wiped and redone, probably 100 times. But, okay, repairs, restock, and refuel cost UEC. So if you run out of UEC and you can't get somewhere because you don't have enough fuel, or you don't have any bullets, or you don't have any missiles, you're going to have to take jobs on other people's ships, or hopefully they've got jobs that you can do that don't require a ship. Or you'll just have to wait for the wipe. That sucks. But that means you'll just have to pay attention to what you're spending all your money on. So don't go buy 500 pairs of pants. Okay, when a ship lands, the mobiGlass of the pilot will automatically open. Basically, your wrist will just jerk, come right on up, and the thing will open up, be like out of control. And then you just select what you want to purchase from the. Okay, that's cool. Yep. Don't land if you don't want to buy something. Okay. Shopping experience. Yeah. So you can get that at Port Olisar and Area 18. Same places where you can do the changing. Shopping's accessible through augmented reality. Basically, when you look at it, the little display will pop up and tell you how much it is and what it does. You can now try on or buy now. If you try on, my understanding is you will be. Here's right here. Try on will bring up a dressing room preview. So basically, you'll go into third person and you'll see what you look like. And then you can either you can put it back on the rack, or you can buy it. And then it'll confirm your purchase, and it will deliver to your locker. So you don't get it right there, really. You don't put it on and it stays on. You have to go to your locker to put it on. Okay, so they'll figure that out. Okay, if you already own the item, then you'll be able to equip it. Cubby Blast and Arcourt live wire weapons and Garrity defense offer all the current available weapons and 6 armor sets, which is the Marine Light, Marine Medium, Marine Heavy, Outlaw Light, Outlaw Medium, Outlaw Heavy, right? So I can't wait for the new armors to come out. Kasaba offers civilian clothing, hats, footwear, pants, shirts, and jackets. Yeah, hopefully they have something that kind of looks like a military uniform. We'll figure out what that is. I'll tell my guys what they need to buy, and they need to buy it. Uh, we're gonna dress like naval dress uniform, most likely. Just letting you guys know if you're watching this. All right. Okay, we're almost at an hour. We're at like 53 minutes. And moving on. The main cassava outlet, much larger selection of attire. Oh, okay. So, yeah, Port Olisar will have some, but our core will have much larger. Okay. Yep, it's going to persist. Yep, even through here's a point right here. Through the alpha and beta, they're going to wipe items back to clean slate. I like that. You should before it goes from beta to live, even open beta, well, maybe not. Closed beta, it should get wiped. But once they go to open beta, then it maybe shouldn't get wiped. It should just stay persistent. So whatever you earn in open beta, but that's going to be way down the line. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about persistence a little bit. We already know what that basically means. Item purchases, hanger configurations, ship loadouts, character loadouts, reputation, good and bad, and ammo and missiles. Yeah, it wouldn't apply to ArcCore or Arena Commander because that's a simulation anyway, right? Okay. Port modification app. It's on your mobiGlas. You can basically now do everything there. Pressing the home screen on your keyboard. Okay, not F9 or whatever it was. I'm glad about that because I didn't like using my F keys for anything, but okay. Hanger and ship. Okay, so yeah, so you grab a ship, move it to a different area, and drop it off. So like you can take a poster and plug it on the wall. You can take a ship, move it from one bay to another, things like that. Yeah, so you can select all the ships you want without having to go to RSI website. Oh wait, it allows you to select where and which flare items you want to place. Nice. Okay, I'm glad I can move my flare. That's exactly what I wanted because I don't like where they have it now. F2 turns off your augmented reality. Okay, fine. I'm sure all that's going to change. Remember, the keyboard strokes have all been changed, so to bring FPS and flight online with each other. Okay, the Reliant base is added to the hangar. Starfarer base and Gemini are flight ready. Ship health has received a balance pass. It looks like the Freelancer, Mustangs, and 300i increased their health, and the Aurora 2515 Hornet, Gladiator, Vanguard, and Constellation has decreased itself. I kind of agree with that because I thought the Hornets were a little bit too powerful right now. I don't know about the Gladiator, never really dealt with it. I have a few, I've flown a few of them, but I don't own one. I've had a few of them. The Vanguard definitely was way too powerful. And all the Constellations are kind of too powerful, in my opinion. Okay, ship armor and shields are currently going through a review of rebalancing, and that'll go on forever. I mean, until the game goes live. And even after that, they probably will still rebalance it. Animation changes. Yeah, it's because they got to put the clothes on and take it off, and yeah, okay. New items in armor and clothing. New items from armor to, oh, well, you know, it's the same thing, okay. 5 styles of jackets, 3 different shirt styles in a bunch of colors. 6 styles of pants. Wonder if they have cargo pants. And shoes and hats. Okay. And the familiar armor and outlaw armors. Flight suit and a full assortment of FPS weapons. Okay. Full assortment. Full assortment? No, I bet you it's not full. Okay. Yeah. Because I bet you they're not going to have like the rail gun that goes on the shoulder. They probably don't have that. They probably don't have the missile launcher. And I'm sure it's not full assortment. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Keyboard, mouse, gamepad, default key bindings have all been fixed. Space. Okay, wait. Mobi-Glass is now F1. Okay. Exit ship seats is now left Alt F, which, wait, it was Control F. Countermeasures is G. Ooh, they moved that. G or hold G. Or mouse button 4. Good, because I've got multiple mouse buttons that I don't use in Arena Commander. Okay. Throttle is backspace. Okay. Yeah, the changes are going to be very extensive, more detailed information. You got to basically review the controls once it comes out. Yeah. And they recommend using the default so that you can give feedback on that. Okay, area 18 fixed a lot of issues. Lighting, bright light was flickering, toned down some of the lighting in the customs area. The sphere outside the job well was missing. What? Visual effects. Okay, fixed an issue where the Cubby Blast sign had some texture clipping. Fixed an issue in yellow, missing a number of graphical detail levels. Fixed an issue where quantum travel to an object would sometimes cause a player's ship to be moved about 300 meters in a random direction. Wow, really? Okay. Or ramming another player's ship and destroying your own ship in the, wait. Fixed an issue where ramming another player's ship and destroying your own ship in the process would give the other user a criminal wanted level. Oh, you ram him and he becomes a criminal? Yeah, that's got to be fixed. Fixed an issue where the audio for comma rays activation deactivate play globally. Yep, that's right, it did happen. Okay, added the ability for characters to suicide in Arena Commander. Okay, big deal. Fixed an issue in the tutorial where the eject hand. Okay. Precision mode velocity dampening now only applies to strafe. Okay. Fixed an issue where pilots who entered certain landed ships would sometimes see the artificial horizon hollow disk glow. Huh. Fixed an issue where several ships would very long to destroy unless their cockpit took damage. That's good. Nice. Okay, the 309, the 350R landing gear would hover a few inches off the landing pad. Basically, that's probably the geometry was probably below what was graphically being displayed, so that's what made it look like it was up. Okay, the Avenger fixed an issue where the zoom camera for the Avenger HUD would pull the camera too far towards the left. Fixed an issue where the Avenger quickly using boost. Fixed an issue where okay, that's all cool. Cutlass, fixed an issue zoom, entrance ramps, turret seat, Gladiator, left wing landing gear, exterior lights, Gladius zoom camera, and no strafe animations. Oh, okay, well, you can still strafe, just no animations. Hornet, some minor art and visual effects. Cartoon ball, 51. I have 52. Fixed an issue where the Merlin maneuvering thruster was missing. Okay. I sold my Retaliator. Yes, guys, I sold my Retaliator. I got a Constellation Aquila instead. Fixed an issue where the zoom camera for the Retaliator would pull the camera. Saber. Fixed an issue where the Aegis Saber, where the color damage shaders were visible on the interior landing gear bay doors. Yep, I remember that. Purple doors. Starfarer. You could say all this I haven't really experienced that yet, so it doesn't matter. Um, yeah, if you walk next to the ladder, you would automatically climb. Yeah, that was a pain. Not worried about that. Yeah, captain's seat had no use prompt. So now you can sit in the captain's seat. Nice. Okay, fix an issue where the Vanguard Warden's missile rack. Oh, good. Fix an issue where the helm flashlight had a blur effect. Yeah, I think it's too bright in some places and not bright in others. We'll figure that out. Okay, fixed weapons. Fix an issue where small arms fired from FPS weapons could not manifest inside of ship's physics grid. Gun battles inside of ships were now fully possible. There it is. Boom! Are now fully possible. Fix an issue where the Devastator energy shotgun abruptly dropped off. It should, though, right? I would think an energy shotgun's damage should drop off at distance. Maybe not. Maybe it needs to be a little bit further than it was. Wait, swapping the sniper rifle for another weapon would leave the arrowhead rifle floating in midair. Fix an issue where players could not pick up the dropped rifle. Fix an issue where... I don't remember that happening to me, but okay. Fix an issue where headshots taken by the rifle wouldn't register past a certain distance. That's true. Yeah, my sniper rifle just wouldn't do damage at a long range. Okay. User interface. Cursor not properly aligned. Would not rotate a turret without us. Key bindings. Double tap. Fix an issue where the icons on the helmet hollow are affected by motion blur, causing them to stretch when turning or looking around. Weird. Crashes have been fixed, and performance has been fixed. Fix lag tied to chaff visual effects. Okay, because chaff does look really cool, and I can see where that would really put a lot of strain on some people's computers. All right, guys. Well, it only took us an hour and 5 minutes for me to rant a little bit about the PTU and go over all the new things in Alpha 2.4. 2.4 is not a done deal. This is way off from the regular PTU from seeing it. This is still on the private PTU. And you can actually read this on the Reddit that actually has the PTU patch notes. You go to the Reddit. Let's see, does it even show it on here? It doesn't, but it's on the Reddit. And yeah, a lot of good things. Pretty exciting. The money system, the Defender reputation, the Defender mission to defend Port Korea, the additional salvage at the mission sites, the shopping experience, and the mobiGlass to change your hanger around. Yeah, that's going to be super exciting. And maybe we get some Starfarer FPS going on. That'll be pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out and checking out these. The guys, before I sign out, I've already gone over everything. Did you guys, if you're watching the stream right now, do you guys have any questions for me or about what I've just discussed, or want to talk anything about Star Citizen in general? Otherwise, I'm going to be signing out. I'll give you guys just a few seconds to respond if you want. Because I know it takes a few seconds for what I say to reach it to your ears. Again, you can find this on the Reddit. Uh, I don't go on the Reddit like every single day, like some people I know do. Uh, kind of like Facebook. I'm hardly ever on Facebook. I have Facebook, but do I ever use it? No. You know, it's one of those kind of things. And that's why this is not like super hot news. This is from the 5th. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. I do appreciate that. And I'll see you in the verse.